Eyup FretHeads, it's Wednesday, 15th of January 2025. Welcome to Wednesday's lessons from the book, guitar class. And I suppose it's not really guitar, is it, today? It's more music theory. We're carrying on from last week's lesson, actually, if you want to tie it in with that. We talked about the major scale. So we're going to do some really cool things there. And if you aren't familiar with the lesson, it's this one here. This is what it is. It's circle of thirds in all the keys, okay? So circle of thirds in all the keys. And it starts on, well, circle of thirds, cycle of thirds, sequence of thirds, whatever you want to call it. I'm not fussed. Lesson 19, page 24 and 25. So it's 2 pages in the book, is this. Because in the book, what it does is it talks about it in all, well, I put it in 12 keys, okay? So it's nice and easy there. So what I'm going to do as well is hopefully clear up some confusion around this idea of the cycle of thirds, circle of thirds, sequence of thirds. I call it whatever. It just goes round. It's a circle. It goes round like a cycle, a bicycle. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer some questions that I have seen inside the old comments in the previous videos I've done for this, because the thing is, some people are trying to marry this idea of the circle of fifths. This isn't anything to do with the circle of fifths. The thing that is different about the circle of thirds is that it's about the key. Yes, so it's about key. Circle of fifths is about changing keys. When we learn to play songs, most of us learn to play songs, they're used 3 or 4 chords, from one key. So you need to understand key. That's critical that you understand key. But hopefully, if any of you has been here to the circle of thirds extravaganza before, then you'll know that what this does is it also explains chords, it explains your modes. So there's lots of utility in this, so you can figure this stuff out, and it's really, really interesting. Now, I kind of think about it in this way that somebody said, actually, let me just remember who it was. I think it was David last week who was talking about how, when I mentioned the circle of thirds, that if we use tetrachords, we can link from one circle of thirds in one key to another circle of thirds in another key. And we can do that, and we can go through and we can connect it into the idea, which is the circle of fifths. Yes? So the thing is, if I've boggled you already, don't worry. I'm going to go back right to the origin of where my thinking came from this, and how I kind of came about it, and it just surprises me that it's not something that people really talk about that much, because I think it's really important, and it's super, super helpful. It's super helpful, so that's what this is all about. So let's have a look. So that's the thing there. It's in the book. If you do not have the book, then this is the ad for the book. There's the plug for the book there, guys. Yes, so you do that. 80 lessons in that book. This is lesson 19 in the book. So this is in the book. This is a basic explanation in the book. So this is here, and this is what this class is all about. It's about taking these lessons from the book, making them bigger, and connecting them to all the other lessons that I do on my channel. I will also say that if you don't, if you want to, what you can do is you can join the community over at the Fretboard Fraternity just here. We've got just all over 3,000 people in there now. Lots of people. We love talking about guitars. That's what we do, and stuff like that, and music, and sharing pictures of guitars. And this week, I think we had a picture of a cat. Yeah, we had a picture of a cat as well, which is always good. Let's be good with that. And if you want to delve deeper into everything of my stuff that I do, or all of the gubbins that I do here on the channel and elsewhere, then basically you want to get yourself over and join PDF Club. And this is PDF Club here. We will be announcing soon. I'm going to do something called PDF Club Lite. But PDF Club here, if you have a look here, these are communities. Yeah, and PDF Club Lite, I'll let you in what it is. The PDF Club Lite is basically, it's a newsletter. It's going to be a newsletter where you can get the PDFs for the Wednesday guitar classes and all the other stuff and the extra bits and bobs that I put into the handouts that I do for these Wednesday night classes as well. Yeah, so that's just for the regular sort of PDF Club, but you know, just keep an eye out. It's coming. Me and Mrs. Ricky, we've been working on it today, haven't we? Yep, we've been working on it today, and we think we've just about nailed it. So we just want to make sure everything's running smooth and tickety-boo, and that's the thing. So that's that. Yeah, so join PDF Club. Get in PDF Club. It's brilliant, right? But definitely, look, yeah, and, you know, definitely just definitely join the Fretboard fraternity. It's free. It's free. It is. It's like there's no ads. There's no tracking. It's like there's no politics. There's nothing like that. It's just like it's wholesome. It's just, you know, it's that slice of heaven that you're looking for online. So there you go. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a sip of this. I'm going to switch cameras. And what I shall do is I'll explain the whole thing about this circle of thirds, cycle of thirds, sequence of thirds, whatever you want. Eyup, create, love, happy, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Yeah, it's like, the thing is, it works. And I'm going to show you a few other little functions, a little bit more utility with it. Yeah, because what you're doing is you're trying to build this big old map in your head and connect all the information so that you can just recall it and apply it to your guitar playing or even to your piano or your saxophone or whatever it is. Yes, okay, whatever it is. Yeah, we want to make sure. Like Ralph says, it's been a rough ride for some of his friends. Too close to the fires, but out of harm's way. That's the main thing, and you start to realise what's important in life, isn't it? Really, this is the thing. I'll just shift that brew over there. I don't want to spill it. Precious. So what we've got my pen, and I'm going to explain this. So what we did last week, we looked at the C major scale. We looked at the two things that musicians need to memorise. Okay, didn't we? So we looked at. The major scale. So the thing is, that's what we're going to do and we're going to get into today. Now, if you remember what I said, the major scale, right, is basically, it's all the ingredients for our chords. Yeah, these 7 notes that we put in here, what happens is these 7 notes give us all those chords, guys. It's like, it's amazing how this all works, really. But we've got to stick to that whole, half thing. Yeah. If we tie that in with the major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, then that is all gonna tie in with this as well. Right. Let's crack on. So the thing is, how I came to understand it was, I don't like this idea of linear thinking. Yeah, that's linear. This linear stuff is, what happens is it kind of gets to the end and you think to yourself, you've got to mentally detach here. If this makes sense, hopefully this makes sense. You think you think the thing, you work it all out, and then you get to the end, and then what you have to do is you have to release the idea and then go back to the beginning and think it all again. Yeah, so this linear approach, it's very terminal, and I don't like that, because the thing is, I feel like there's no flow to it. It's very, very rigid feeling. So really circular, and this is a strange thing. You're gonna think, what the hell is he on about? Yeah, this linear and circular thinking, and this is the thing, and it's just a little bit of a mental shift. This is all it is. It's essentially what the circle of fifths is. If you can memorize the circle of fifths in its entirety, Because the problem that I find with the circle of fifths is everybody remembers the top 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Everybody remembers that. But just like say, well, what's at 6 o'clock? What's at 7 o'clock? And what's at, 8 o'clock? They're in between there. And it's a bit vague. Okay. That's the problem. So really following that circle all the way around, it's quite hard. And this is why, like I said last week, I prefer to think of things like that in a tetrachord manner, because tetrachords are kind of linear but marry into this circular way of thinking. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. So linear thinking terminates. Yeah. And then you go, all right, okay, go back to the beginning. And if you think about it, it gives you this. When you think of things, sometimes you get this feeling, and you'll do this actually when you're playing your guitar and you play chords. When you're changing between chords, you hold a chord, and then you think to yourself, I've got to change from a C chord to a D chord, and you'll go like this, and you'll take your fingers off, and then you'll be lost. There's a kind of a void that happens, and then you put your fingers on, and then you've got to think to yourself, linear. You'll have a linear process to put the chord back on. You go like that, and then you think, that was tricky, right? So what we want to do is we can apply this circular thinking idea to lots of different things. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. So this is what I'm talking about, this linear way, and essentially this idea of linear to circular is what I thought about with the major scale. So I'm going to blast through this idea here, and basically I'm going to use my good old friend, the C major scale, yeah, because there's no sharps or flats. Okay. Now what I've done is, you can see I've started on C here, and I'm going to go up the scale till I get up to C here. So go root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then I get to 8 here. You see? So that's going from C to C, okay? We're going from C to C. We've got that going on, right? So we got this, and then what we do is we can jump over. Now, what we do is we're doing something called tertian harmony. Now, tertian means 3, so this is tertian harmony, right? This is how we gather the notes for the chords. Yeah, this is how we gather notes. So we turn these notes into chords. Okay, guys? So what we're doing is we're jumping over in these 3s like this. So this is, you can see. Now, these threes here, and I'll explain. These 3s aren't true thirds, yes? They're thirds, yeah? So you're moving from the root to the third. They're not true thirds. Yeah, true thirds would mean they would all be major thirds and they would all be minor thirds. So look at that. So if I did that, and let me actually just tangent, okay? So true thirds, then they are not true thirds. If we did have true thirds and we had a circle with minor thirds, yeah, then what we end up with is diminished. Yeah, if we had major thirds, we start to get into the realm of augmented chords. Yeah, so this is something for another. This is a topic for another lesson. Don't really want to get into that actually, because it's quite complicated. But the true thirds, that's what these are. Yeah, this isn't true thirds, because what happens is, if you think about it, from a C to an E, this is a major third, and E to G is a minor third. So we're always going to be switching between major and minor thirds, guys. And let me at least explain that. Okay, let's explain that. Now here, this is related to guitar because this is a string. This is a string, and this is a fret. These are frets here, guys. And then what I do is I put a note on. You can think of that as being a note with your fingertip. And then what I do is, to get a major third, yeah, what happens is, a major third, I go up 2 whole steps. And you can see that there. Step, step. Yes? Step, step. Okay? Bop, bop. Step, step. So step, step. That distance there, step and a step, that is a distance of a major third. Now, major and minor just means less. Yeah, so that's the way to think about it. It just means less. If you had a major leak in your roof, yeah, then that chances are water's coming in all over the place and there's loads of buckets and all that shebang. When you're going to have to call out a roofer and it's going to be very expensive. Whereas if you've got a minor leak in your roof, then it's not as bad. Yeah, you might have one bucket and it might dry out, and you might be able to get up your ladder and just move the shingle a bit, and then everything's okay. Then that's what we want. We don't want to be forking out for expensive roofing repairs. Here we have the minor third. So the only difference between the major and the minor third is the distance. So the gap between those two notes. Yeah, this is called an interval. So if we take that note and we reduce it by 1 fret, it becomes the minor third, which means we get a step and a half step. So let me just put that in there, step and a half step. So now you can see that this distance here is shorter. This goes, including this one, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 frets, whereas the minor third goes at 1, 2, 3 frets. These are important intervals to be able to see on your guitar. Yeah. So, but essentially, when we're thinking about tertian harmony, yeah, that's what's going on here, guys. It's this mix of majors and minor thirds. Major and minor thirds are going on there. And that's what we do, is we just do this by jumping over. And by jumping over, what happens is we get to keep the note names exactly the same. This is C major. I'm not making any modifications. If I was trying to modify this to be major third and this into a major third, you might be thinking to yourself, well, hang on, that's a minor third, Ricky. It needs to be a G sharp. Then I'm altering the key, and that is not what we are doing here. Okay? That is not what we're doing. So we're just jumping over in these threes. Now, this first octave here, this is called the simple octave. Okay? That's the simple octave. Everything is there, can you see? So we've got everything that we need there, and I can see that I've got a root, a third, and fifth, and a seventh that can spell my C major chord out there. That's up to the fourth, including the fourth note. Yes? So we've got that there. Now what we can do is we can carry on jumping over. But when we carry on over, what happens is we jump up into another octave, and that's called the compound octave. Okay, so we get that compound octave, we jump over, we jump over, we jump over until we get back to C. Okay, now you can see we've got a C here, so this is really just going to be the root note. But let me talk you through these here, and you might think to yourself, all right, well, that D is the second here. Now, once we get into the compound octave, what happens is this gets a synonym, yeah? So we get an enharmonic interval name for it. So the second can also now become the ninth. Yeah, and this would make sense because if you think that this C is the octave, well, what's what number comes after 9? Yeah, after 8, sorry. Right, there, 9. And what I could do is I could just fill these all in. 9, 12, 13, 14. I could do that. I want to get rid of some of these, but we'll keep them in there because I think it's important to see them, especially this next one. So you can see here that this second is a D. So it can be a second and it can also be a ninth. And that's what I'm just putting there. So 2 is the same as 9. That's what we're thinking here. Okay, so, and as you can see, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have I missed one out there? C, E, G, B, D, F, A. So, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Whew, I thought I'd lost one. Right, so 7, by jumping over it up to the compound, and then finish on the root note again. What we've done is we've just spelt out those 7 notes that we originally had in a different order. We've gone through this circle. We've cycled through these in thirds. Yes, but not true thirds. They're not true thirds, guys. Yeah. So what we've got is that. Now, the E. Okay. Let's look at the E. The way I see it is we want to keep these 3 here, the root, the third, and the fifth. We want to keep these as being sacred. And that is where we get the triad from. So that, for me, is a triad. The next one we need to understand is by jumping over, what happens is we get this bridging function. This is going to help you to understand your notes and your chord names and all that sort of stuff, and how to use chord formulas to be able to go, all right, okay, is there a seventh? If there isn't a seventh, then this rule applies. There's a whole bunch of other stuff with this. I've done lots of lessons on this. There's one, Guitar George knows all the chords, and this is the reason why. Okay, so let's have a look. So let's can the compound octave be the lower octave? No, because you're just starting in a lower octave, really. So there we go. Let's have a look. So we've got that there. Let's have some more questions. Hans says, think of it like a corkscrew. Yes, both linear and circular. Yes, you can do that. As a helix. Yes, that's the one. Minor third can be whole and half and whole. Yeah. Exactly. Or you could do it as half, half, half if you wanted to. Yes. Oh, Eyup, Monty's in the chat. Dad said, thank you for your thoughts and prayers. Well, you know, we're still sending them. We're still thinking about him. So, you know, it's nice to see you in the chat here, Monty. Hope you're doing well as well. Oh, Sandy's just rocked up late. There we go. So, there's some questions in there, and I'll come back to these. Let me just finish off this here, guys. So what you might have heard sometimes is I did a lesson on some chords called compound thirds. Yeah, so if we look at thirds here, this third here, it's an E. And if we look here, you can see it's an E as well. And you may have heard that you may have heard of compound thirds, but you might have heard of, let me put this here, compound thirds. Yeah, they're the same as tenths. All right, now if you ever come across tenths, okay, then that's what's going on there, guys. It's basically you've taken the root note and you've taken the third that is in the compound octave, yeah. But I think that confuses this whole idea of how you use this to make chords. So I'm gonna get rid of that. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, but just as long as this kind of like caveat, you understand that that's what was going on there. Now, if we jump up here, you can see we've got the fourth here, which is the 11th. So it's an F and is a fourth and 11th. We think of those as synonyms as well, okay? So 4, 11, right? And then what happens is, remember I said this, everything in the simple octave is sacred. Yeah, we want to keep that information as intact as possible. This stuff's for when you start getting really nerdy about it. Yeah, so this is the nerd stuff. This is the simpler stuff. So really, we're going to keep this as simple as possible. Now, we keep that with that triad there. We've got the fifth. Now, the fifth here is the G, and what it is this is sacred. We don't want to call it anything other than the fifth. Yeah, we don't want to confuse matters. So look. That means we get rid of that. So we've got a 9th, an 11th, and then we jump up, we can see here we've got an A. This is the 6th. And the 6th there, it's an A. Hang on, there's an A there. So 6 and 13. And then, so what happens is you can see this here. This is something to memorize, guys. 2 and 9, 4 and 11, 6 and 13. Yeah, so you can understand. You've got to get your head around this. So that's the 13 there. Now remember, this 7th has a special function. It's a bridging note from the simple octave into the compound octave. So I don't want to have any notes called 14ths in there, guys, at all. This is diatonic tertian harmony. Yeah, so it's like what most music is written in. Yeah, most music is written in. But what you'll notice is you get this 9, 11, and 13. Now, the 9, 11, and 13 are known as the upper extensions, right? So those are the upper extensions. And this is going to tie into the circle of thirds thing as well, okay? So this is going to tie into the circle of third things, so circle of thirds thing as well. Because what we can do is we can explain all this in a different manner. Now, so you see everything going up here. Oh, Future Sounds Music's in the house. Hi, darling. That's Ben, by the way. So we've got this going on here. Are you teaching, lad? What we've got going on is we've got this simple octave and compound octave going on there. We've got the 9th, 11th, 13th. So we've got as upper extensions. We've got the bridge and we've got the triad. hopefully that makes sense. But what I want you to understand is this idea here is linear. It terminates. It terminates. So what we have to do is we have to go back. And the beautiful thing about the circle of thirds, yes, is that when we make it into this linear idea here into a circle, what ends up happening is we can take it and we can start on any of the notes in there, and we can think to ourselves, well, okay, well, what note is that in context to the key? Because remember, this is C major scale. Yeah, we've got C major there. That's the scale. But we're looking at the key as well here. So these are the ingredients that we have for everything in that key of C major. We just have to turn it from this linear idea into a circular idea, and this is where the circle of thirds came from for me. So what we do is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7 there. Okay, so we take those 7 notes. Now all I'm doing, instead of laying these out flat like a caterpillar, right, what we do is we roll them round. Now it just happens when I do this, I have a mnemonic for this, and this mnemonic is every good band deserves fans and cash. You will have learnt how to use this when you were learning music on the musical staff. You know, when you look at the clef. Yeah, let's do this here. So we go like this. Yeah, so we've got the staff there, and you'll go on. Every good boy deserves football, or whatever, for learning your notes. Well, this moves in exactly the same way. So there is an application of this to this, but I'm not going to get into that. I don't think I'm going to get into that today unless anybody really kind of pushes that. AKA 246 in the diatonic. Yes, David. So what we're going to do, what we want is we want to create this mnemonic, and this is what I use. Now, I don't care if you stick to my mnemonic. Yeah, if you already have half of one, if you do have the first one, which was EGBDF, yeah, every good boy deserves football, every good boy deserves favour, or whatever, you know, that sort of stuff, then what you need to do is you just need to add on the other 2 letters to this idea, okay? Okay, so what we've got, and this is what I do. I just wanted to make it relevant to musicians, really. Every good band deserves fans and cash. That's the one I remembered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it here, right? So every good band deserves fans and cash, and then that's gone all the way around. Oh wait, you got to tell us, Ricky. What am I meant to be telling you, Sean? I don't know what I'm meant to be. I don't know what I'm meant to be saying. The best mnemonics. But this is the thing that I'm saying. I'll just have a sup of this. It's getting tepid now. Yorkshire tea. Eat good bread, dear father, after church. That'll do it. That'll do it. Whichever one works for you, as long as you can remember it. And the thing is, you need to be mindful that doesn't matter if you start on any of the other ones. It doesn't matter if you start on any of the other ones, okay? So let's get into this. So we've got this going on. So remember, this is C major. I'll put that key signature for C major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle there. You see? That's it. No sharps, no flats. So I don't need to add anything to the circle of thirds here. So circle of thirds. Now, hopefully you can see what's going on here. There are other things gonna transpire as we get through this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a lovely, nice, neat piece of paper here. Now, guys, this, like I said, this will be in PDF Club when I've scanned it, and so that's what's going to happen. That'll be scanned, and any of the notes that I do for Wednesday guitar class, they go in PDF Club, guys. So here's what we can do. Let's just have a little workaround in the key of C major. Okay, so we get C, E, G. You know, you could come up with your own one here. Try one. Somebody just think of one starting from C, E, G, B, D, F, A. Yeah, C, E, G, B, D, F, A. You know, cool. I don't know. I was thinking there. We could have. Oh, crikey. Well, let's have one. Oh, it'd be good if we could get one that works like Battle Ends and Down Goes Charles's Father. That would be a really good one. Creative electricians get big deals for. Do you see where I'm going with this? I'm missing something on here. If you're an electrician, tie it in so it's something that's memorable. Make it yours. Take this information and make it yours. Okay. So remember what I said about these majors and minor thirds, and I was talking about being true thirds. Yeah, true thirds is where the cycle is basically just minor thirds or major thirds, and they tie in with a specific type of harmony. Whereas these are both types of thirds. This tertian thirds thing, what it is they are completely a mix, but you can predict them as well because this is the way it's going to work. Because we know that this here is the root note. That's the most important note in this key. Yeah, because that's the key tone. That's the tonic. We could think of that as being the tonic for the key. And I'm just going to write this in here. There's the key signature again. But now I can move and extrapolate out of here. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can see what's going on here. And this will tie in. And I've just had a thought actually about a tangent. This will tie in with how we see the triads. C to E, yes, that is a major third. So I'm just going to put third there. Yeah, so it's a 3. Going from the C to E, that's a major third. And then if I go from the E to the G, this is a minor third. I know I've put a flat there because that's what a flat third is. Flat third, minor third, same thing. All right, we've got G to a B here. This is a major third. And when we go from a B to a D, what happens is we get a flat third. Okay? Cracking eggs goes badly done for admiration. Something. Cracking eggs goes badly. Yeah, there's something in that. Yeah, well, as long as it's yours, Clive, and you understand it. Okay, flat third. D to F is a flat third. Okay, so going from F to A, this is a third, and then what we can do is we can go from A to C, and that tells us that we have a flat third there. So you can see here these thirds, they change and they go around, and you can hopefully that makes sense. Now, if you've seen my triads lesson, yeah, this is the tangent. This is the tangent. I wonder if I can. Ooh, this is new. Just put the paper like that. I can put that at the side there like that. Right. So if I put that there we go. Right. Let me just explain something how these triads work, and I'll just tie it in, and really, what we need to kind of do is we need to look at this idea of major. Let's look at a major triad, right? A major triad, it goes like this. It goes a root, then we get a third, and then we get a fifth, okay? So we've got a root, a third, and a fifth there. And what happens is, the distance between the root and the third, we get a major third, okay? Between the third and the fifth, what happens is, we get a minor third, okay? So that is a major third. Now I've done that all the way up there for a reason. I'll put it down here as well, okay? Major third. And the next one that we want is the minor third, okay? The minor chord, the minor triad. So we get a root, we get a third and a fifth, but the difference between a major and a minor triad is that the minor triad has a flat third. This is why it's called minor, because it's got a minor third. Okay? So if we look at that, again, we look at the gap, the interval between those, which we had here. You can translate it in a string. So if you wanted to think major third, root to third there, that would be this one. And then root, and then third to fifth, that would be this one. So you're swapping between those two there. Hopefully this makes sense. So you can see how these thirds switcheroo. Now, if you think about it, that was a major third before. So that gap between the fifth and the third has widened, so it's become bigger. So we get a major third there. And the thing to notice is that a major and a minor, they have opposite thirds. So you've got a major third here and a major third here. But if you look the other way around, you get a minor third there and a minor third there. How cool is that? But that's not the end of the story, is it? No, because what we get is we get this one here, and this one here is going to tie into this as well. We've got the root, we've got a third, and we've got a fifth. Okay, but this is diminished, so it has a different formula. And you might see, and actually that's a point with this. You know, the formula that you would have for this would be root, third, fifth. With the minor, it would be root, flat third, fifth. And for the diminished, what we're going to have is we're going to root, flat third, flat fifth. The fifth is altered. So if we look at this, we think about it, and this is why I write diminished chords in lowercase. And I'm a real stickler for that, because if we don't modify that fifth, the root to the third, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a minor. Okay? Okay, so we've got that there. And then what we've got is, we've got here. Now what happens is, remember we had this fifth here. This interval here is a perfect fifth. This one isn't. This becomes a flat five, which means that this note here becomes a minor third. So you can see this is the nature of triads. This is how triads work. And I was talking about these last week as well. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to do for this lot actually is we get a root, we get a major third, and then what happens is we get a sharp five or a plus five. You can look at it in that way. We get an augmented chord, so we can go root, third, fifth, and now we alter them. So we know that this here is going to be a major third, which kind of makes it look a lot like a major chord in those first two notes. But what makes it different is that now this five is raised. It's a sharp five that we get there. Okay, so what happens is we get a major third there and we get a major third there. Okay, so you can see that's the difference with this. Now, bearing that in mind, what I want you to do is I want you to look at this here, and what we can do is we can look at the full expression. I wonder if I can pull that up there. And I kind of think of chords as expressions, yeah? So the full expression of something. Let's have a look. Can I get that in there? Will it go in? Might do. Might do. Might go in. It's a bit tight, but we'll get there. Oh, it might go the other way. Is that better? Is that better? Can we see it? We might be able to see it. Oh, we might be better that way. Right, okay. So we're starting on the C. And remember, we're starting in the key of C major. So this is the C major chord, right? This is the structure. And hopefully you can see as you go around, you can see it goes major, minor. So you can see this major, minor structure thing happening in there, okay? Right, Richard said, I thought diminished was root, flat third, and flat five. It is. It is. That's this one here. Yeah, so we got root. Oh, hang on. Yeah, you're right. I should have done that one there. I didn't amend that one there, Richard. Well, good spot. Well spotted. So we got that there. So this here. Now, the thing of it is if you remember from last week, I also showed you that little cheat, didn't I? I showed you the little cheat. What we can do is, if you remember, this is why you remember those things, the two things that I showed you last week. Okay? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Hang on. What was homework? Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, wasn't it? Do you remember? For the major key. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. I said it a few times, okay? Okay? So watch. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Okay? That's all I did as I applied that to my scale. And now I can see the chords there. But now what I can do is I can actualize those chords by starting on here. So what I can do is I can change these here. Look, so this is going to be C. This is going to be E minor. This is going to be G. This is going to be B diminished. This is going to be D minor. This is going to be F. And this is going to be A minor. Now, if that wasn't good enough, yeah, remember I applied Roman numerals and explained Roman numerals last week. 1, chord 1, yeah? Chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, and chord 7. Not only can I modify these around this way, can you see this information? Yeah? We got this information. Don't worry about these flats. These flats are about the structure of the distances between the thirds. Yes, that's happening. It's just happening without altering any of the note names. Without altering any of the note names. It has nothing to do with that. This structure stays the same. So this C we know is chord 1. This E minor is chord 3. Okay. This G is chord 5. This B diminished is chord 7. Got that there. D minor is chord 2. F is chord 4. This A minor is chord 6. Okay? Does this make sense? Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see where we're going in the chat. How are we doing? How are we doing, guys? Oh, I'm not just catching up with Monte. Let's have a look. Never sleep amongst 15, and his mind works overtime. Says he nothing time. Yeah. Hopefully he is well. Playing guitar for kids vets. Yeah. Right, got to tell us. Right, so, yeah, our thoughts are with your dad there, Monty. Yeah, and that sucks. I'm just reading through this, guys, and just seeing what's going on. Well, look, you know, all you can do is just say all the FretHeads are saying hello and everything to him. Yeah, it's not good. That's not good. Richard Shields, I thought diminished with root. Yeah, we've done that. So B to the F. Let's have a look. Ronnie River says B to the F is diminished. BDF. Yes, that's diminished. So Rich V2. Yeah. Okay. Sandy says he bought some Yorkshire tea off Amazon. Good stuff. Thanks. I'm glad you like that. Kanoka says, and when you are calling these specific chord numbers, you are referring to the entire triad, not a singular note. Now, that's a funny thing, you know. You could call it the note. You could be using the same thing for the note, because if you think about it, when you say 2, when I say chord 2, maybe you might think of it in the Roman numeral value, but if you just say 2, you could think of it as being the second. Yeah, so they are synonyms. I did a lesson about this a while ago about synonyms. Yeah, so that's the thing, you know. But that's what I'm spotting out here for you guys. Do I need some colours? Do I need some colours? Have I got some colours? Where's my pens? So we've got some colours here, just to make this really stand out. What's going on here, guys? Yeah. What we're doing is we've essentially turned the scale. We started off with the scale. We turned it into the chord names. We turned it into the Roman numeral names with the tonality attached. And now what we've done is we've turned them into this circle here. And what we can do is we can see chord 1, chord 3, chord 4, 5, chord 7, chord 2, chord 4, and chord 6. Okay? So we've got those there. Now, so that's pretty cool. But the thing is, it's like, this is all in C major. I understand that. But what I want you to do is, you could look at it like this. I think this is fun. It's a bit of fun. Just do a bit of train spotting here, guys. Let's look at this as well. what we can do is, you'll see, you've probably seen enough diagrams that kind of do this thing. We can go, there's chord 1, there's chord 4, there's chord 5, and there's chord 4. We get a little triangle shape there, and this is always going to be the same. And those guys there, those are your primary triads. Yeah? And in this case, right, they're your primary triads in the major key, if you were thinking about it in the major key. But if we looked at this from the perspective of going from A minor, we'll just collect the A minor to the E minor, to the D minor there. Can you see there, what happens is, we get the secondary triads. Right? And those are minors. You could just say minors if you want. These are your majors. Right, we can't forget Wobbly Bob. Let's get a different colour for Wobbly Bob. And what we do is we have to go shoot all the way down here, because there's only 7. And this is kind of like one of those things, the way maths all mixes up. Oh, sorry, math works out. Then we can look at it from this perspective here as well. So you can, hopefully you can see how this is going on. So it tells you which are your major chords, which are your minor chords in the key. Yeah, I shall include a blank one of these in the in PDF Club. So let's do this. Let's add some more to this idea here as well. Now what we can do is, if we wanted to, what we could do is, remember we had this linear idea here. Okay, we had this linear idea here. Make sure that we can just see this here. And now that is that terminal linear expression. Now if I wanted to go, right, okay, so that's my root, that's my third, that's my fifth. Hang on, that's my 7th, that's my bridging 7th, there's my 9th, there's my 11th, there's my 13th. I can take the full chord there. That's what I call the full chord. But that isn't the only full chord that we get here, okay? Okay, so the full chord lives there like that. And what we could do is we can express it now in this circle. Now, if you imagine that I hadn't put the minor chord is always in that position, absolutely. As long as chord 1 is at the top of this circle here, yeah, it's going to work out this way. It's just one of those things. Let me show you something else that's cool about it. You want to know where the relative minor is? There's chord 1. There you go. There's the relative minor. Right? Now, once you know where the relative minor is, yeah, then what you could do is you can go, okay, I know that there. And let me just apply this to guitar. Turn this sideways, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me do this. So I'm going to apply this to guitar. Okay, what we do is we get chord 6 root note there. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, hang on. Did that one wrong, Ricky. That there. So we get this. Let's just get rid of that extra note. Put an extra note in there because I was thinking another pattern. Sometimes happens. So you can see here, now I relate that to being box 1, your minor pentatonic. Okay? Okay? Okay, so yeah, I think what it is one of those things that we could probably chat about in the fretboard fraternity. It's probably one of those things, yeah. But you know, we do care about the members of the community who come in, you know, as well. So so yeah, but I'm just going to carry on teaching. I'm not paying any attention. Well, I am kind of monitoring the chat, but the thing is, guys, I'm just going to carry on. Yeah, if the chat is a bit distracting, then it might not be the best thing to look at. But just, you know what I mean. You know, so let's keep it nice, guys. Let's keep it cool. Yeah, let's be cool. You know, so let's keep this cool. So hopefully, does this make sense here, guys? Gonna ask a question. Let me just get the attention of the class. Yes? Let me just get the attention of the class. Can you see what's going on? There's your majors. C, that goes to chord 5 and to the F there. Just to recap. Yeah, we've got A minor, E minor, and D minor there, and we've got that B diminished standing on its own. Okay, dude. I know you're trying to do that, but we're just kind of like we're cool about it. Please be cool. Yeah. Okay. Can we just please be cool? Yeah, that would be nice. Thank you. I'm going to carry on anyhow. Yes, Sean, I will carry on. So what we're going to do is we've got that there, right? And we've got this B diminished here as well. So you can see, and this is the thing that I kind of realised, if I can relate that box pattern there to that, and I can relate it to the chord, then I could do the same for this one, okay? And then I could do the same for this one. Right, okay, so this is the one. Winston said, how do you get 7 diminished to get to 2? The diminished. Right, well, look, here's the thing. If we just go from a notes perspective, look, there's the B. If we go up a minor third, we get to a D. Yeah? So we go up a minor third, and then we go up to the F. That's another minor third. And remember, when I was doing these triads, and I was showing you these triads, yeah, the diminished goes up a minor third, and then it goes up a minor third again. Does this make sense? Does this make sense there, guys? Up a minor third, up a minor third. Because what happens is, it's about the 5th there. I should just say, I say this in the triads video that I've got. Major and minor is all about what's going on in the thirds, yeah? Diminished and augmented is really about what's going on in the 5ths, okay? You'll notice, if it wasn't for the alterations in the 5ths, you would think that this was minor and this was major. Yeah, because of that distance between the two notes. In those two notes, if we just played those two notes, that would be called a dyad. But because we add another note, it becomes a triad, okay? It's a bit of terminology there. Okay, so that's what we want to get going on here. So, hopefully, yeah, this makes sense. But what we can also see is this thing that I call the full chord. Now, let me do this. I'm going to do this thing that I call the full chord. All right? Yeah, and Craig Cranford, if C, G, and F is primary and A minor, E minor is diminished is secondary, what would you call C, E, G? C, E, and G, those are the notes. Those are the notes, yeah? They're nothing to do with that. They're the key. Look, so I'll show you here. You're kind of nearly there, Craig. Look, if I show you that bit there, C, F, and G, yeah? What I'm doing is I'm taking those there and I'm just plotting them out with that lovely pink colour there, okay? Okay? Now what I've got is I've got my minors. There's 3 minors there and then there's wobbly bob at the end, okay? So you can see I've got 3 majors linked there, I've got 3 minors linked there, and I've got wobbly bob, okay? So you can see with that dotted line as it goes up there. Okay, that stands in between there. Now you could kind of think to yourself, and actually this works. If you wanted to, you could go around this and go from 1 to 5, and then you go around from 5. No, it's not going to do it. It's not going to be the same as this proper circle of fifths. But the thing is, I prefer to see the circle of fifths as being this idea of jumping to chord 5, and then this becomes a new one of these. Okay, but we're not going to get into it. Okay, they're chords, Craig. Yes, indeed, they are chords. Now, here's the thing. Well, let me get back to this idea here of the full chord. Okay, the full chord. Right, we've got the full chord. So what we do is we take these notes here, and what we do is we break it down into 3 sections. Like I did before when I looked at it in the, where is it? In this manner, in the simple octave into compound octave. Remember what we had is we had the triad, we had the 7th, then we have the extensions. And this is what I want to show you. This is what the circle of thirds does. Okay, so we get the triad, we get the 7th, And then what happens is we get the extensions, okay? So we get triad, 7th extensions. Well, let's look at this. Can I make a table with this? I probably can. Let's do it as a table. Nice and easy. We don't have to do any dots and sticks, guys. Okay? So, can you connect this with chord structure? Yes, this is chord structure. They are chords. These are all chords now. So what we're doing is, we're taking these notes. So if we're on chord 1, look, and what we do is if we want to know what the notes are in chord 1, the full chord, which is a 7-note chord, yeah? Sounds horrible because there's 2 half steps in there. Okay, so we go C, right? So we go there, we go C, E, G. Those are the notes for the triad, yeah? What's the 7th? The 7th is the next note along. That's going to be the B. The extensions are going to be D, F, and A. Let's just confirm that with what I wrote right at the beginning of the session. Okay? Look, C, E, G, B. Okay? D, F, A. Wonderful. So that is the full chord. Yeah? That's what I call it. And that is chord 1. So you don't have to just get stuck with triads, 7th chords. You can add the D, get 9th chords. Add the F, have an 11th chord. Add this A and get a 13th chord, so you have a C13 chord. Yes, do you understand how you get all those expensive sounding chords? You have to know how to spell them. You know, so the thing is, this one, the next one. Let's look at the next one. Let's just go up as musical alphabet. Because remember, we started on C, so let's go to D. So D's over here. Right? And if we go there, D, we can see that essentially it's going to spell a D minor triad. Yeah? So if we go up here, we go D, F, A. That's the triad. The C is going to give us the bridging 7th. The E is going to be here, E, G, B. Okay? E, G, B. And that spells everything that we need for the full chord of chord 2. Okay, so you could have the triad, you could have the 7th, but you could equally have a 9th, 11th, and a 13th. Okay? You don't need a 7-string guitar. Let me just put a caveat on that, yeah? Right? This is the thing we've got to do. 7-string guitar. This is my thinking, guys. Yeah, piano's easy because you got 10 fingers, yeah. So you got plenty to go at there, so it's okay. But with guitar, we have to adhere really to the 5 chord shapes, okay? To the 5 chord shapes. The C and the A shapes, right? They are 5-string chords. Yeah, if you think about it, if you imagine what a C chord looks like, how many strings do you strum when you strum the chord? It's 5 strings. G and E shape chords, those use 6 strings. And this one, the D shape, uses 4 strings. So the minimal chord shape that you need to be able to turn any of these chords into is a D shape. So that's 4 strings. So when you when you're saying to yourself, when you're saying to yourself 7-string guitar, you don't need a 7-string guitar. You need to be able to use 4 strings effectively. And what we do is we omit, we get rid of notes, because what we're trying to do is avoid the tensions that we don't want within the chord. Yeah, if it's a major chord, do you want tension in a major chord? Maybe a little bit, right? Maxi Rate says something. Every musician has to memorize face GBD for thirds and back lens and BADGCF. Yes, forwards and backwards for fourths and fifths, and for your key signatures. Yes, face GBD. That's a good one. You know, that'll do it. Face GBD. Face GBD. You can come up with a mnemonic for that. Okay, but is AMAC says is DFA on chord 2 D minor, F, A minor? No, those are just the notes. Yeah. The thing is, when I think of it, I can think of this as being just the letters. Okay. Shall I roll this back a bit? Can I roll this back a bit? Yeah. I'll roll this back a bit and I'll just put this in here. C, E, G, B, D, F, A. Okay, so just make it a little bit simpler there. So when you're thinking about this, we started on this note here, and we could think of this as that's the root note of C. This is the third of C. This is the fifth of C. This is the seventh of C. Yeah, this is the ninth of C. This is the 11th of C. And this is the 13th of C. Okay? Now, here's the thing. If we start on the D, this is now the new root note. Okay? So that's the root note of D minor. That's the third of D minor. That's the fifth of D minor. This is the flat seventh of D minor. So we've got to apply this as well, guys. We've got to remember how to do that. There's a trick to doing that as well. So that's the seventh. So we see we've got 4 notes there. So that's a D minor 7 chord that we've got there. Here is a 9. Here is an 11, and here is a 13. Okay. So we can see that we've got to calculate that. So we can see we get a D minor 13. Now, are you going to play a D minor 13? Not necessarily. And you wouldn't probably call it a D minor 13 because by omitting certain notes, the whole anatomy of the chord changes. Okay? So, hopefully this makes sense. But essentially what we're doing is, yeah, so what we do is we pick a note, right? And we make that into the root. So, make it the root. And then what you do is you're going to go around and you're going to go root, third, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, and 13th. And that's how you express it. Okay, so you find the root. If you think about it, this is the root note for this chord, this one here. This is the root note for E. Right, remember, and in the place, we can equally accommodate the idea that this is chord 3. And this is going to be E minor. So we go E, this is the flat third, this is the 5th, there's a minor 7. Yeah. Does this make sense? So, hang on. Each form is like an inversion, kinda. No. It's more like a root position chord. Does that make sense? It's more like a root position chord because inversions are flipped. You flip the notes. Yeah. There's each chord is essentially an inversion of another of the full master chord, the tonic. Yes? Does this make sense? You could think of it in that way. Yeah. So let's go to, I'm just looking at questions here. But you think of as a note interval. So instead of a 13 chord, C13, and the 13 replaces, what note is that chord position based on major, minor, diminished? Yeah. Okay. Clears out the cobwebs. Oh, that's what we want to hear. Randy's late, guys. Let's have it. Get your D minor is the chord made up from the notes. Duh, I should have known. So the thing is that this whole thing, yeah, if I was to do this in a linear fashion, yeah, I'd be going like this. I'd be going, right, okay, so that's the root note for chord 1, that's the root note for chord 2, that's the root note for chord 3, root note for chord 4, root note for chord 5, root note for chord 6, root note for chord 7. So let's say I wanted to start on the 4 chord. I'd go F, A, C, E, G, B. I've run out because I've hit the wall. I've hit the linear terminal wall. B. I know it's going to be, hang on, what is it? Hang on, I've got to remember that it's a D, and then I've got to jump back to the beginning, find it there, okay? And then that's just too hard. So we do it as a circle, as if the wheel has turned. What happens if you just rotate the page? Nothing, because what we want to do is we want to adhere to the major, just like we do with the major scale structure, yeah? Joanne, interesting question. Just like we do with the major scale, yeah? If we change the steps and the half steps, it's not a major scale anymore. Yeah, it becomes something different. It becomes something else. Okay, so really, if we move everything round, then it doesn't really change anything, apart from No, I won't go. No, I'm going to go there actually, because the thing is, right? Right, let me do this. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to show you this because I did this last time, right? What we do is we end up with these synonyms, okay? Synonyms. When you look at a key, and this is why it works for me. When I look at a key and somebody says to me, it's in C major, and they say, all right, okay, we're in the key of C major. Okay, right. We're going to take chord. We're going to start on the D. As soon as somebody says D, I think, right, okay, that is D minor. It's chord 2. That's Dorian mode. Okay. And then I can think to myself, okay, so then what I'll think to myself is I'll link this all up and I'll go Dorian mode. I'll go chord 2. And I'll think to myself, Dorian. And I'll also think to myself, okay, because I've memorized my scale formulas, I'll go, let me just write this out first because it's easier if I just write those out first and then make the amendments. And there's Dorian. There's the formula for Dorian. Root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Okay? That's the formula for the Dorian scale. Because modes are derived from the major scale. Okay? You think about it, it's just you start, instead of starting on the first note, there in the major, when we start on the second note and we use that as the tonal center, the starting note as the root note for the scale, then the whole structure changes. And I think that's what you mean there, Joanne, is that structure changes. So what ends up happening is that will, if you look at the steps and half steps by working that out, going from D to D, you'll find it that what it does is it gives you this scale formula. Now what we can also do is we can apply this scale formula and we use the idea. Let me just show you this. This is killer, guys. This is killer, right? This is killer. If I look at this, that's the scale. Okay? That's the scale. But what I want is the chord. And when I mean chord, I mean the full chord. So we get root, we get a flat third, we get a fifth, yeah, we get a major 7. You're right? We've got a 7. The next note we want is to be a 9th, and that tells us that we've got a second there, not altered at all, so that's going to be as a 9th. Then what happens is we look at the 4, that tells us we get an 11. We look at the 6, that tells us we get a 13. So there is the full chord spelt out for me. The formula for Dorian matches. Okay? Okay, so this matches. Graham's got a good one. Right? Okay? Graham Penfold says, can you show another key? Yes, because that's one of the things that everybody says, yeah, you can do it in C major. It doesn't work everywhere else, but it does. It does. Hopefully you can see what's going on here, guys. So this one would be chord 1. We could think of it either as major. It's also the same formula, modally, for Ionian. Okay, that would be root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. That would be the chord. The scale, that would be the scale, my bad. Scale. The chord would be root, third, fifth. Okay, so there's the triad. We've got the 7th, and then look at the extensions. We've got a 9, we've got 11, we've got a 13. 9, 11, 13. Those are the notes that fit on top of that chord. Those are the ones, okay? They fit on top. And it doesn't matter which one you look at. So let's have a look at this. Let me put chord 3 here. This one here. This is Phrygian. Okay? We look at the scale formula for Phrygian. It goes root. Let me just put this here. So with Phrygian, we've got a flat second, we've got a flat third, and we've got no, we haven't got a flat 6. Hang on. Root. We've got flat 7. That's it. Is something missing? Am I missing something here? Let me just have a look. Quick look. Brain's gone. It's a flat. It's a flat 6 as well. What am I on about? Yeah. So there you go. Right. So root, flat second, 4th, 5th, flat 6, 7. Okay. Chord. Okay, now what we could do is, because we know the scale, okay, yes, that's the problem. Musicians look at the scale as an alteration of C major instead of intervals of the chromatic scale. Or we could play. Or the thing is, we're comparing it to the major scale, really. C major Dorian chord notes are D, F, A, C, E, G, B. Yes, David. Yes, David. Exactly. Exactly. But and that's the way to look at it. Here, this one, root, flat third, fifth. Then we've got then we get a flat seven. But look at this flat second here. So that's going to be called a flat nine. We've got a fourth, which is going to be 11th. And we've got a flat six, which becomes a flat 13. So you can see how it tells you the spelling of the chord. Okay? Cats eat goldfish, but don't fart a lot. It just made me think. There's a film called Leo on TV. I watched it the other week. It was very good. So look, you can apply these modes to it. It's chord 5. This is going to be Mixolydian. Right, okay. This is going to be Locrian. This, which is chord 7. This is going to be Lydian, which is chord 4. This is Aeolian, which is chord 6. If you remember what I was saying to you, major, you could also think of this as being your minor. So there's your relative minor. So Aeolian is tied to being your relative minor, which is awesome, because once you know that and you go to say to yourself, okay, this pentatonic box that I had before, all I need to do is add those extra notes in there, which is why I did that thing where I went like that, and then I just go boom, boom, boom. There you go, there's Aeolian. I've just added it to my pentatonic, and you can see that on the fly. Okay, so these are modes, okay? Those are modes. Modes are, Joanne, modes are moods. Yeah, okay? Modes are moods. Are we getting into this? We've been at it a while, haven't we? Right? Hopefully this makes sense, guys. Let me have a little look at some of my notes that I've got here. Okay? So where I'm getting so we've got all that business there. Now, did David say somebody do it in another key? You've never heard those terms. They're basically, the funny thing is, right, and I love this that major, the major that we use right now is a relatively new phenomenon to human music. Yeah, it's to music. And I think it was one that was really tempered by the piano. Yeah, because the piano is well-tempered clavier. Yeah, so major tonality became the mainstream way we build music, and like I said, the piano kind of it kind of shoved all the interesting, weirdly tuned instruments out of the way. It's all Greek. That's the thing, Maria. Yeah, it is all Greek. Now, what it was Pythagoras is the guy that kind of is. We all think that, well, that's the consensus, is that Pythagoras is the guy that he went away and he studied with a bunch of people called the Chaldeans, and they gave him something called a monochord. And what he did is he took a string and he did ratios to it, and he found that he could get the octave by going up and dividing the string 12 times. Yeah, and that's why we get 12 semitones, okay? But then what he tried to do is he tried to align the planets with it, because you've got to remember, Pythagoras was mad as a box of frogs, yeah. Yeah, right, as well as and all that sort of stuff. So it's an extremely violent man. So he's trying to do like astronomy with it as well, and he's trying to see how that affects humans and all this sort of stuff. It was philosophy. It was esoteric. It was a deeper sort of way of understanding things. You know, it's like if you think about Leonardo da Vinci, he wasn't just an artist. He was a mathematician. He was an inventor. He was, you know, so there was more to that kind of sort of thing. This is what people generally used to be when they used to be properly educated. So the thing is, what Pythagoras tried to do, he tried to align the planets. Yeah, and he tried to align the planets, and in doing so, that was the kind of the origin of what we know as the major scale, okay? But even back then, yeah, what people used to, the most important scale really back in time was Dorian. Dorian is the most sort of important scale because This is why folk music, a lot of old folk music, you find that it's in Dorian. Yeah, but then Dorian fell out of fashion and Lydian became more important because it's a kind of a major sound, but it's a little bit brighter. So yes, maxi-rater, ratios. It's all ratios. Yeah. So the thing is, you split the string into the ratios, and that's the way it is. I'm really kind of paraphrasing the whole thing, but the way to think of modes. So modes are basically expansions of the major and minor chords within a key. Modes are essentially, they are you can derive modes from the major key. So if you think about it, if you play a piano, yeah, and you start on the C key and you go to C, that is the C major scale. However, if you start on the D note, the next note up, and go from D to D, that would give you Dorian. You're not changing any of the notes, but what you're doing is you're changing the structure of the scale, and in doing so, you're introducing other sounds, because the thing is, the pull, the sound is wanting to pull to the home note, the D. Yeah, this is the thing. This is how modes really work. You've got to have a good, strong tonal center for a mode to really work. Otherwise, you'll find that when you will do this, is if you're trying to learn how to play modes on your guitar, you'll be playing away and you'll think to yourself, hang on, I'm playing Dorian here, but it just sounds major. Yeah, and this is the thing. Modes came first, then scales. Yes, yeah, modes were first. Modes were first, James. So it was like Dorian was the kind of it's very much of a natural scale, but it would have been actually tuned a bit more mean tone instead of standardized like we do now. You know, A is 440 hertz, which is really 110 hertz, you know, whatever on guitar, so we all tune this way, and then hang on, the hippies start arguing about 432 hertz, you know. So so the thing is, we can get bogged down in all that stuff, but the thing is really, and this is the way I kind of think about it, I think of modes like a washing machine, right? Now the thing is, the machine doesn't change, but the dial on the front does. So you know yourself, yeah, that if you've got jumpers, you've got some sweaters, some woolly sweaters, and you chuck them in on a hot wash, yeah, that's the wrong mode, yes. But so you turn that knob, and you know, yeah, that when you turn it, you're going to access a different mode, a different function within the machine. So the key, yeah, the major key is the washing machine, and if you turn the knob, then what you do is you access a different function of that washing machine. Hopefully that makes sense. You've got modes on things. Does that even, where do you get more info on modes? Well, we have this wonderful thing called the internet. And no doubt by punching modes into modes in music online on YouTube, you'll find something. I've done a lesson in the book on how to hear the modes. Now, Joanne, I should say, for me, the simplest way to understand modes is to call them moods. Yes, because they are very much moods. Okay. That's the thing. So if hang on. Right, I'm here now. I'm here. I didn't know I was going to be playing, but here we go. So, hopefully, I've got some noise on here, guys. What I'm going to do is, this is basically one of the lessons in the book as well, okay? Okay, so what we do is we're going to use this tonal center of E. Yeah. Now, all the notes gravitate towards that. I think of it as almost like a sonic black hole, yeah? That is pulling everything towards it. All the other notes want to resolve to this, and that's where the resolution happens. So if I go like this, okay, is that okay? This is an E here. This is an E. This is an E. Okay. So if I play the major scale and use this E as my tonal center, my reference. Yeah, so that's the major scale. So you can hear it goes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, now what happens if I play Dorian? Yeah, the whole shape of the pattern changes. There's Dorian, and the mood changes accordingly. And like I said, this is chord 2. Yeah, that's going to be chord 2. Yeah? Phrygian. Same note. I'm starting. That's my home sound. Yeah, there's Phrygian. Let's change it to Lydian. Remember I said Lydian was like a bright major sound? It's got that. Can you hear that? Now that clashes, and not everybody digs that sound. Okay, so, but it does kind of sound nice. I like the sound of that, and it's a bit like acquiring a taste for fine cheeses. Yes. Okay. Right. So. Right. We got Lydian, and now what we're going to do is this is chord 5, mix the Lydian. So that can associate it with a chord type as well. Dorian's a good one because Dorian's if you want to play jazz, you need to learn Dorian. Let me see if I can turn this on and not upset everything. I've got my foot pedal down here. I can take a bit of this filth off once this thing connects. Yeah. Move it. This is under here. Controlling the THR with the air step here, and the X sonic air step, which is pretty cool. Let's have a look. 2. Let's have a look. So now that should be cleaner, not so buzzy. Okay. So major. Okay. Does that make sense? But we were saying Dorian. Okay. So we've got that there. There's the chord. There's the chord that it lives with. What's going on there? Let's take that off. Let's try that one. Okay. Okay, so that's the way of doing that. It was better on that other sound, wasn't it, frankly? It was on channel 5. So Jason says, so you are playing the same scale shape starting at different notes. Yeah, sorry, played too fast to decipher. Yes, so Dorian, it is essentially a different scale. It's the same scale shape, but the thing is, if I change the tonal center, the volume's gone down on that a little bit. Put it up there. Dorian there. It has a chord that it's associated, and that's associated with chord 2. Really, it's derived from D major. This is E minor. Okay. Right, and then where did I get to? I got to Mixolydian. So Mixolydian was this. Seventh chord. Yeah, so if you mix Dorian and you mix Mixolydian, yeah, you get a very sort of Grateful Dead sort of sound thing, and you mix that with some blues as well, and you're away. Locrian goes like this. It's got all the flattened notes apart from the 4th. So it's got this tritone in here and there as well. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, I know. I didn't expect to be doing the guitar, and when I put the thingy on, it's just killed all my volume there. Let me just have a look. Is that better? Yeah. So we've got that one there. Now if We take that there, but I'm just holding that within this pattern here. Root. Okay. Major. Dorian. Using that E as that tonal centre. Phrygian. Yeah. Yeah. Thrash metal, that one. Then Lydian. Then mixed Lydian. Yeah, then Aeolian, the minor. Yeah, related to a chord as well. Then minor 7 flat 5, put that on there. Yeah, it's a gnarly one, is that? Yeah, I like that tritone. Yeah. Right, okay, we don't need the guitar. Hopefully that kind of explains modes, but that was a tangent. That was a serious tangent. But the thing is, this is getting back to this circle of thirds. Yes? Okay? The thing as well is to know is like if you start to get to the point where you say to yourself, okay, I know which ones are my modes. Well, what chords can I play? If I get a major chord, yeah, can I play Phrygian on it? No. Because, remember, I was spelling these out. We were getting to that. Chord 3 is Phrygian. If I go there, I go E, G, B. There's the triad. Right? And then I go D. That's the 7th. F, A, C. That's the extension. That's going to be chord 3, which I relate to Phrygian. Right? Then what I do is I go to F, because that's my next note up. Look, C, D, E, F there. F. Well, that's going to be Lydian. So I go F, A, C. And then I go E is my 7th. My 9th is the G, B, D. There's my 11th and there's my 13th. So if I carry on going all the way around those, then I can see what's going on. All right. Okay. G, B, D. Let's go from this. This is Mixolydian. Okay. G, B, D. There's the triad. Those are the notes from the triad of G. Ignore this information as we go around. We're just looking at the notes. G, B, and D. There's the triad. Put the D, the G, B, D. Going to go F on the end there. And all I'm doing to do this is somebody put something like every good... this is where I got it from. Every good band deserves fans and cash. Deserves fans and cash. Every good band. Cash. Every good band deserves fans and... You know, so fans and cash every good band deserves. So good band deserves fans and cash every. That's how I remember it. This is why that mnemonic works, okay? So there's G. Go to the A. A minor, chord 6. Look, telling me what's going on here. And I said to you, this could be Aeolian. And I put those notes in because this is Aeolian. A, C, E. There's your triad, okay? And then we go up. We get the G, which is the 7th of the full chord, and let's put the extensions in. We get B, D, F. B, D, F. Now, the thing is, this becomes super important when you want to superimpose stuff. When you want to superimpose, if someone's playing an E minor chord, yes, you can play an F triad on top of it, and what you end up doing is the chord that is happening underneath it all ends up sounding like this extension. You start pulling in these extra notes and you start getting tension. Okay? You start getting tension. Okay? So the thing is this is the way it works. This is the last one because we've gone C, D, E, F, G, A, B. D, F. Right? So let's go. B, D, F, A is the 7th, C is the 9th, E is the 11th, and G is the 13th. So C, E, G. Look, C, E, G. That's the way it works, guys. So we can kind of look at it in that table there. But that's what I call the full chord. Sometimes I've heard it being called, you go up to this level here, Yeah, this. Yeah, so just look at it. This is sort of beginner's level. Yeah, this is just major and minors. Right? This is 7th chords. And then this is like 9th, 11th, and 13th chords. Okay? So you start getting, this is the expensive ones up here. Expensive chords up here. But you see, you kind of get that far. But if I explain all of it to you, then it makes sense that you can understand it through this worksheet. Okay? So this is modes worked out on the C major scale. Yes, indeed. Yes, it is, Graham. Yes. And Graham, you said another key. Right, let's just quickly do this, yeah? And what I'll do is I'll plot this out and then you'll be able to see it. Hopefully you can retain what I've done already, right? So what I'm going to do, blank sheet here, right? Okay. So people say in the thing, yeah, you could do it C major, but how do you do it? How do you do it in another key? So let's do it in another key. And I'm going to do it in the key of A major, okay? Key of A major. Let's do this. Let's put the key signature in here and make it easier for ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The key signature goes Father Charles goes. There you go. So we have three sharps in there. We've got an F sharp, we've got a C sharp, and we've got a G sharp. And what we have to do is we have to take those sharps and we have to apply them to the notes that we extrapolate around this. So we go A, okay. Every good band deserves fans and cash. Every good band deserves fans. Okay? I've not changed the mnemonic. I've not changed the mnemonic, but here's where it gets different. Father Charles goes, yeah? So F sharp. The F becomes an F sharp. The C becomes a C sharp. And the G becomes a G sharp. Okay, we've done it. We've modified everything. And now we know where the tonic is there. We know that this is going to be chord 1. This is going to be chord 3, which means it's C sharp minor. Yeah. This is going to be E, which is going to be chord 5. Yeah. This is going to be... It's super easy, guys. Come on. So what we've got is we've got chord 7 here. So that's going to be diminished. So let's put that there. This is going to be back onto chord 2. Yeah, this is going to be onto chord 4, and this is going to be chord 6, because remember, if we go back that way, we get our relative minor. So what we've done is we've spelt those out there, and what you can do is you can say to yourself, okay, let's look at the equivalents of that. Well, we know that that's major or Ionian. Right? We know that this is Phrygian. Yeah, we know that this is Mixolydian. Right? We know that this is Locrian, because it's related to chord 7. We know this is Dorian. Right? Because we know, I think Vicky did it earlier. Was it Vicky did it earlier? I saw it. Id Pul Mal. I saw it. We remember to remember the names, the order of the modes. It goes Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. So really, all that's doing is following it. It goes so that's chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, chord 7. We're associating those with each of those there, guys. Yeah? Okay, so let me just carry on. Chord 4, you can see that's Lydian. And then chord 6 here is Aeolian. Okay, so we can apply that there. Once we know that, then what we do is we say to ourselves, we know the scale formulas. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. Okay, Ronnie says, can you compare D major with D Dorian? No. Well, I could do, but the thing is, then what you've got, you want on the guitar, I don't play loud music after lunch. Yes, Martin, this is it. This is the one. I don't particularly like modes a lot. I don't play loud music after lunch. It's another mnemonic that's going to help you to nail this. Yeah. If you want to, Ronnie. Yeah, I can do that actually, Ronnie. I'll switch back to camera and I'll put the guitar back on, right? And I'll play it slowly. Now the thing is, you've asked me for D major, right? In Dorset, people live mainly along lanes. I like that one. What I'm going to do, you've asked me for this in D, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the E string, I'm going to drop it down a whole step. Sounds even more evil. But here's what I'm going to do: is if I play this as my tonal center, this open D string now. Yeah, can you hear that? Now the thing is, if I play major now, it's not going to sound very metal. Doesn't sound it, but here it is. That's using the D. Yeah? So if it was in D major, that would be chord 1. Yeah? Might sound better as power chords, but yeah. But if this was in Dorian, this would be a minor chord underneath it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. So yeah, but I could equally think to myself, okay, we want we want something to go with that D. That's just a D power chord. It's got no third in it because I'm not stating the third. It's not major, it's not minor, so it's kind of open to interpretation what you want to put on it. The more notes you put on the chords, the less freedom you have, because the notes are defining the melodic content, whether it's diatonic or whether it's modal. Yeah. So, okay, hopefully that makes sense. So we did that there, guys. Look, so there it is in the key of A major, right? And what you could do is you could just say to yourself, if you take that key signature there and you go, okay, let's write out A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's add these sharps on it. F sharp, G, C sharp, and G sharp there. And remember the homework was major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. So major, minor, minor. Those two are minors. Major, major, minor, diminished. Those are my chords in my key. But I can see that and I can figure that out here. Look, so E, G sharp, this B here is going to be B minor. Switch that over there, D, F sharp minor. And it's all spelled out for me. And this hasn't changed. Remember what I did before. Remember what I did before here, guys. Look at this. Primary triads. Same spot. They're my majors. Secondary triads. Same spot. Diminished. Same spot. Yeah, it's fixed. Look at those two next to each other. It's the same pattern. It's just the alteration of by adding those sharps on there is that G sharp. That G sharp is diminished. Yes, a G sharp diminished chord. Yes. Okay, so it's a G sharp diminished chord. So you can see how that all works there, guys. You know, and like I say, all you need to do is, this is why you need to know your key signatures. Hang on. Let's do this. Let's do another one, right? Okay, we're going to do the key of F, right? Put the key signature in for the key of F. It's the easiest one, an easy one to remember, because all it has is just got a B flat, okay? So we've got F. So every good band deserves fans and cash. Every good band deserves, okay? There's my tonic. That's chord 1. It's chord 3. This is chord 5. This is chord 7. All right, this is going to be chord 2, which is Dorian. This is going to be chord 4, and this is going to be chord 6, which is Aeolian. But I've got to make sure I add that B flat there, and that's the only difference to the key. Those are all the chords in the key of F. We've got F, G, A, B, C, D, E. We've now got a B flat there. And I just go to, I think to myself, major, minor, minor. Major, major, minor, diminished. There you go. There's all the chords. So I can look at that. But also because I know that this is a major third, this is a minor third, this is a major third, this is a minor third, this is a minor third, this is a major third, and then this is a minor third there. I can work it out. I can see what the other notes are. Do you see how it works? So this is the key of F major. So it works in every key. It works in every key, guys. I think if I do any more of this, I'm probably going to get into the weeds a bit. Oh, hang on, let me just do that again. I just like showing that as well. Like I say, look, the triangles, because the triangles is pretty cool. Look, here's the majors all in one spot. Here's the minors all in one spot. Here's Wobbly Bob. Here comes Wobbly Bob. Just there. So the thing is, you can see same, all the same. It's all the same structure. Same structure. Yeah. All these notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bunch of 6 notes and a blank one of these circular thirds will be in PDF Club, guys. She'll scan that in the morning and sort that out. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is so George says that the modal intervals will remain the same from key to key. Absolutely, the mode structures don't change. The major structure doesn't change. Yeah, the major scale structure doesn't change. It's still whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Yeah, because the modes are derived from that parent major scale, then they're not going to change either. They're always going to be the same thing. You know, you can reliably say to yourself, oh, Lydian is a major scale with a sharp 4. You can just remember that. Major scale with a sharp 4, that's Lydian. It's nice and easy to remember, isn't it? Yeah. You know, so hopefully that makes sense there. There were some things that I didn't get into because there is more utility than with this than you think. And I did think it might be interesting to run this as a kind of a specific workshop, you know, something on a weekend or something, you know, but bigger. It's like, you know, you might need some sandwiches and we might need breaks and all that sort of stuff, but a bigger workshop. So that said, okay, so that was cycle of thirds, circle of thirds, sequence of thirds from the book. Where are we? There we go. That was the page. That was the book is Ricky's Ultimate. I forgot what it's called now. Ricky's Ultimate. Where's the page? Where's the front? Oh yeah, Ricky's Ultimate YouTube Guitar Lesson Compilation. If it's your first time, you might think, all right, okay, there's 80 lessons in it. There's something in there for everyone. If you've got that, then hopefully then we will tie into this. Maybe next week we'll see what we can do. I might dig into modes if that might be useful. So we can think about it in that way. Just to keep the ball rolling week on, week out. I like to do that. Yeah, so if you haven't got the book, then here's the link for the book. Get it there, rickysguitar.com/store. You get it on Lulu. You can get it on as a spiral bound. You can get it on Amazon as a paperback, or you can get a direct download with the videos all in one spot on my website and all that sort of stuff. If you want to go to the Fretboard Fraternity, join the Fretboard Fraternity. It's a free place. It's a free, safe place. Yes. Yeah, Sean's got it. Idpul Mal. There we go. He's got it. And then what you've got to do is you've got to associate the mode name with it. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Which is why I spell them uppercase and lowercase. to just match the tonality. So there are major modes and minor modes, which we'll get into next week. I think that's probably enough for next week. Okay, so, and then if you want to get into some of these bigger documents that I do, the only place you can get these handouts that I generate during the classes is in the PDF Club. So if you want to go there, check out PDF Club, see if it's for you. You get access to the full archive. You get discounts on upcoming courses. You get all sorts of little perks in there. Oh, Ralph, thank you very much. I'm officially swearing off playing 9th, 11th, 13th chords ever. Oh, Ken, thank you. Thank you as well for that. Appreciate you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed the lesson as well. So Rich says, okay on paper, not so on guitar. Well, look, we'll see about this, Rich. What we'll do is I'll dial in a bit of a better sound, yeah, and then what I'll do is we'll see if we can maybe, I tell you what I'll do is I'll probably go through the modes lesson next week, so we can hear the modes, but I'll also tie it into this, how it works and how we find it on the circle of thirds. How about that? That would do it, wouldn't it? I think that would just do it. But obviously we're hitting the hit the 2 hour 16 mark here, guys. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know. So that's the thing here. Right, and that's the one. And I might start, and I've said before, because the book is 80 lessons. There's so many more lessons in the back of PDF Club that you don't know about. So the thing is, what I might do is I might do some of the ones from PDF Club and just show you what's inside PDF Club. I think that might be interesting for you. Yeah, so we can do that. Okay, so yeah, that's a plan for next week, I think. But other than that, guys, yes, nice to see you in the chat there, Monty. Hopefully, send your regards to your dad and everything. Yes, so all that good stuff. We're sending love and prayers and all that to all you folks in California as well. We're sending love to you guys out there. Remember who you're playing guitar for, guys. Remember, it's not for anybody else. Remember, you're playing guitar for yourself. You don't play it for anybody else. Because if you play it for somebody else, then, chances are it's like, that you're probably not going to play what they like. Play what you like. That's the key. That's the key. Remember the whole chat. I've given chats before about the catalyst. The thing that made you want to pick up guitar in the first place, the thing that made you excited to go, I'm going to go to a guitar shop and I'm going to go buy a guitar because that's what I want to do. This is my plan. I need to do that. Yeah, that music that made you do that event where you saw somebody doing music, maybe it might have been back in the day, when you were a kid, that, what excites you, yeah, that's the stuff you should be trying to play as well. So don't try and jump too far ahead. I know we're talking about modes and all this sort of stuff here. Really, if all you want to play is some Neil Young, you don't want to be doing too much like theory stuff, do you? We're not in that ballpark. So what I'm saying to you is don't complicate the whole thing of learning guitar. Play what makes you happy, the music that makes you happy, and that's the thing, that's the secret. And if you do that, you'll just love playing it, and then you play more, and then you get better, and then it's like wow, and then your life becomes this amazing thing with music in it, and you make music and you talk to other people about making music, and it's just amazing. How cool is that? How cool is it? Hey, I don't know. I really love it. So that's what I'm saying. Play guitar for yourself, not for anybody else. Yes. So that's what it's always about. Okay, so that's where we're at, and I'm going to say good night to you. Thank you for coming along today. This was another long one. I thought it might be, and I didn't get into all of it. Oh, Joanne, you didn't say it was your first lesson. Oh, right. Okay. Well, we'll if you come in next week, we'll hook up and we'll do these modes things. This is what we're doing next week, so it's already decided. So if you have the book, you know which one it is. It's towards the back. Yeah, it's called Hear the Modes. Okay, guys. So yeah, look after yourself. Look after each other. See you later. Take care. Bye bye.